Now you have to learn what are the features that are required to facilitate cloning into a vector. This is a very important topic in the chapter biotechnology. Features that are required to facilitate cloning into a vector. What is cloning into a vector? So this is a vector DNA. This is a plasmid which is isolated from a bacterial cell. It serves as a vector. To this vector, we have linked a piece of alien DNA. This blue colored portion is a piece of a sequence of DNA, which is an alien piece of DNA, foreign piece of DNA which has desirable genes. So we want to introduce this alien DNA into a host. So this is linked with a vector. This is the vector. Now when the alien piece of DNA is linked to a vector, it makes the alien DNA to multiply and to make multiple copies. This is called cloning. So the vector is called cloning vector because it facilitates cloning, because it makes the alien DNA make multiple copies. So cloning of the alien DNA is possible because it is linked to the vector. So this is called cloning vector. The plasmid is a cloning vector. And the alien piece of DNA will multiply, it will make a clone. It will undergo cloning. It will make many copies. It will make multiple copies. This is called cloning into a vector. So, to facilitate cloning or to facilitate replication of alien piece of DNA, what are the things, what are the features that must be present in the vector? What are the features that are required to facilitate cloning into a vector? This is the topic you have to learn. First of all, the cloning vector must have a specific region which is called origin of replication. And the alien DNA must be linked at the origin of replication. Origin of replication plays very important role. It serves two functions. If the alien piece of DNA is linked to origin of replication, then only replication of the alien DNA starts within the host cell. So origin of replication is responsible for replication, initiation of replication of the foreign DNA in the host. Origin of replication is the sequence of base, sequence of DNA, which is responsible for replication of the alien DNA in the host cell. Origin of replication is also responsible for controlling the copy number of the linked DNA. Origin of replication is also responsible for controlling the copy number of the linked DNA. That means the alien DNA which is linked to the cloning vector at the origin of replication will replicate and make multiple copies. It may make 50 copies, it may make 1000 copies, it may make 100 copies. This is called copy number. So how many copies are formed? How many copies of the alien DNA will be formed? It depends on the origin of replication. Origin of replication supports, it controls the copy number of the alien DNA. So origin of replication is responsible for controlling the copy number of the alien DNA. That is why if we want to obtain many copies of the alien DNA or the target DNA, the alien DNA must be linked to that cloning vector whose origin of replication supports a very high copy number. If we want to recover, if we want to obtain a very high, a very large number of copies of the alien DNA, the alien DNA should be connected to that cloning vector which has a origin of replication that supports a very high copy number. So this alien piece of DNA should be linked at origin of replication of this cloning vector. So origin of replication of this cloning vector supports a very high copy number. That's why the target DNA has been linked to this cloning vector. Now, number 2. Another important feature which is required to facilitate cloning into a vector, selectable marker. In addition to origin of replication, the cloning vector should have selectable marker. Selectable marker is a specific gene. It is a specific sequence of nitrogen bases, or it is a specific gene which confers, which provides resistance to antibiotics. It is antibiotic resistance gene. Selectable marker is the gene which helps in identifying and eliminating non-transformant and selectively permitting the growth of transformants. Selectable marker helps in identifying and eliminating non-transformants and selectively permitting the growth of transformants. So you have to know what is transformant, what is non-transformant. Transformation is a process. Transformation is a procedure by which an alien piece of DNA is introduced into the host cell. The host cell is called transformant because it has obtained an alien piece of DNA. The procedure is called transformation, and the host cell which receives the alien DNA is called transformant. And we require this kind of cell. We need transformants. We do not need the non-transformant. We need only this kind of host cells where alien DNA has been incorporated. We need to grow, we need to multiply the transformants, the cells which have received alien DNA, which have undergone changes in genotype and phenotype. So selectable marker is a gene in the cloning vector which helps in identifying which one is transformant and which one is non-transformant. It helps in eliminating non-transformants. It helps in identifying and allowing the growth of transformants. So selectable marker must be present in the cloning vector. Some important selectable markers are the genes responsible for resistance to ampicillin, chloramphenicol, tetracycline, kanamycin, etc. are selectable markers, very useful selectable markers. Then number 3, the third feature which is required to facilitate cloning into a vector. The third feature is cloning sites in order to link the alien piece of DNA. The cloning vector should have very few, preferably one recognition site or restriction site. The cloning vector should have a particular region which is called recognition sequence or recognition site or restriction site. What is this? The recognition site or restriction site or recognition sequence is the region where the restriction enzymes cut DNA. The cloning vector should have preferably one recognition site or restriction site where a specific restriction enzyme can cut the DNA. If the cloning vector has multiple recognition sites, more than one restriction sites, then what will happen? It will generate several pieces. It will produce several fragments of the cloning vector. So this will complicate the process of gene cloning. This will complicate the process of gene cloning. The restriction enzyme will identify the restriction sites which are more than one, and the enzyme will cut the cloning vector or the DNA into several fragments, and this will complicate the process of gene cloning. So cloning vector should have one recognition site or restriction site. Now in the figure, a cloning vector has been shown. This is the cloning vector PBR322 found in E. coli bacteria. It has several recognition sites, restriction sites or recognition sites which are identified and where the enzyme, restriction enzymes cut the DNA. The restriction sites are shown in the figure. EcoR1, Clay1, Hind3, BAMH1, Cell1, PVU2, PST1, PVU1. These are the restriction sites. And PS1, PVU1, EcoR1, these are the names of restriction enzymes. That means this is the restriction site where the restriction enzyme BAMH1 will cut the DNA. This is the restriction site or this is the specific sequence where the enzyme cell1 cut the DNA. Similarly, PS1, PVU1, EcoR1, PVU2, these are the names of restriction enzymes. Then this is the origin of replication responsible for initiation of replication. ROP. What is ROP? ROP codes for proteins which are involved in the replication of the plasmid. ROP is the gene that codes for proteins that are involved in the replication of the plasmid. Then very important selectable markers or antibiotic resistance gene. In this figure, there are two selectable markers. Can you identify which two? Selectable marker means gene responsible for antibiotic resistance. This is the pink colored region which is called selectable marker. This is the tetracycline resistance gene. It is one of the selectable markers. This is another gene responsible for resistance to ampicillin. Ampicillin resistance gene or selectable marker. This is tetracycline resistance gene, selectable marker. Now, to facilitate cloning of alien piece of DNA, one thing you have to remember, the alien piece of DNA must be connected, must be joined at a recognition site or restriction site which is present in one of the antibiotic resistance genes. The alien piece of DNA or the desirable DNA must be linked at one of the restriction site, either BAM-H1 or CEL1. At one of the restriction sites, either BAM-H1 or CEL1, present within antibiotic resistance gene. These restriction sites are present within the tetracycline resistance gene. So, the alien DNA must be linked at one of the restriction sites, either BAM-H1 or CEL1, which is present within a selectable marker, within antibiotic resistance gene. Now, when a piece of DNA is connected or linked in the antibiotic resistance gene at the restriction site, the cloning vector will lose resistance to tetracycline. Try to understand, when a foreign DNA or alien piece of DNA is linked at a restriction site within the selectable marker, that is antibiotic resistance gene, the cloning vector loses resistance to that particular antibiotic. That means, in this cloning vector, if you link a foreign DNA at BAM-H1 or CEL1, this cloning vector will lose resistance to tetracycline, because in the place of tetracycline resistance gene, you have placed the foreign DNA. So resistance to tetracycline is lost, but it maintains resistance to ampicillin. So this cloning vector is carried by E. coli bacteria. So all the bacteria who have obtained the foreign DNA in place of tetracycline resistance gene, all the bacteria have lost resistance to tetracycline, but they are still resistant to another antibiotic which is called ampicillin.